Hey friends, it's me, Erin, your friendly neighborhood energy alchemist, with today's Schumann resonance report for Saturday, August the 16th. Today would have been my dad's 70th birthday, so happy heavenly birthday, Pops. All right, you guys, here is our graph. You ever see a movie or a TV show where like the news reporter just throws all the papers up in the air and is like, I give up? That's kind of how I feel. Actually, I will tell you, this break that we had for yesterday was really helpful for me, okay? So from about 8 a.m. Central until 1 a.m. Central, we had a nice break of the intensity of this energy. We didn't have a break in energy. We just had a break in the intensity of the white energy. Now, I know this graph is confusing, but I'm going to explain it to you. This is where we are today on the Italian graph. This was yesterday morning at the same time on the Italian graph. So while the energy was not intense with the big white energy, all day long we had release energy, and sometimes it was very, very intense. So all of this space here with that little bit of red, that little bit of upper chakra release, that was followed with and pushed with a ton of major release energy, right? So sometimes I just don't even know what to say. I'm like, bleh. Yesterday was a very introspective day for me. I spent a lot of time alone. I spent a lot of time in nature, and I actually spent a lot of time just crying and releasing. And it wasn't any one thing. There's a lot going on in my life, but I think I finally reached the point where all of this pushed me to open up and release the stress that I was holding on to. My body physically today feels 100 times better. My mind is clear. All kinds of stuff. I woke up jumped out of bed this morning. I will also tell you that I have noticed an uptick in my, for lack of a better term, telepathic communications. And here's a perfect example. Last night I went out to dinner with my husband and some friends, and we're sitting at the dinner table and my brother's there, and he's talking about the Savannah bananas, right? He's talking about how he wants to go see them. This started because the Little League World Series, I think, was on the television. This is where the conversation started. So we talked about this for 20 minutes about how we wanted to go, moved on from the conversation. An hour later, I got a text from my friend Rachel, who I spend a lot of time with and talk about this sort of stuff with a lot. She was in Wisconsin, somewhere else, watching a Savannah Bananas baseball game. And she texted me and she sent me a picture and she said, hey, look at this. I was just thinking of you watching this. And that's what I mean about being on the same wavelength with someone, because Rachel and I spend so much time together and we are always talking about stuff like this. We are very similar on the wavelength when we think about this sort of thing. And that has really increased with me. I'm picking up on stuff before people say it constantly all day long. Even in the television shows I'm watching, I'm figuring stuff out before the show even gets going, which is a little bit annoying, but kind of interesting. So getting back to the graph, as you can see, we are in big white energy. When we get close, it looks like it's finally letting up. It is 7:45 a.m. Central Time, and it looks like it might just be starting to let up. It has a major halo to it, so this tells me this is extremely intense. Now, with the big white energy, for me, what this does for me is it typically brings a lot of ideas, a lot of motivation, a lot of ping-ponging around in conversations. Sometimes I feel half here, half somewhere else. And then by the end of the day, my body is done. It just crashes out from the amount of energy that I've been getting. But that's how it affects me. This is our sun. I also wanted to show you, we have this very large coronal hole that is facing us directly right now. This is helping to intensify everything that we are receiving. The release energy, the new energy, all of it is being intensified by this. This halo right here, that's from that hole facing us. This halo down here, that's from the coronal hole facing us. It intensifies absolutely everything, including hurricanes. I don't have the study in front of me, but there's been a lot of studies done about how space weather, this sort of thing, influences hurricanes. And I know Hurricane Erin is out there in the ocean, and she's kind of cranking it up a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me. I have not looked to see her trajectory. Last I heard she was headed offshore, but it wouldn't surprise me if she turns and heads towards shore because of this weather that we're getting from the sun, the space weather and the intensities. You can find these articles. You can easily look them up on Google, but there has been lots of research done about how this type of stuff impacts our hurricanes. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you guys. In meditation this morning, I got the clearest message. It came through and it said, remember, This is a universe that is inclusive. It is not exclusive. That means you are not just one thing. You are everything in different increments. And where you choose to focus is where you're going to build momentum and energy. So choose wisely upon which you put your focus. Literally came in clear as a bell. And I think that comes from the idea that I was starting to sort of pigeonhole myself a little bit professionally with doing private readings and wanting to be a teacher and all these things. I was sort of seeing myself in a box, putting myself in a box a little bit, holding myself back a little bit. And this morning's meditation was like, we're not going to do that, because you are nothing, everything, and anything all at the same time. It's just where you choose to focus that matters most to help build the energy up in that direction. That's momentum. That's the exciting part, because that's what takes you off and helps you reach the stars, friends. Remember, you're not just one person. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a spiritual teacher. I'm not just a bad cook. I am so many wonderful things all rolled up. And when we try to define ourselves as one thing, that will slow us down every single time, because you're literally telling yourself you're limited when you're not. So be mindful. All right, here's our cards for today. So my guides are saying, when we allow ourselves to get overwhelmed with the idea of having to be just one thing or to fit into a certain box, it causes us to make choices that are not in our best interest, like trying to narrow ourselves down to one thing. So my guides are asking us instead to listen to ourselves and what we want for ourselves, to focus on the things that help us to feel excited about what comes next. Where you feel good, when you're focused on it, is where you're meant to go, friends. It's that simple. My guides are saying that's part of the awakening process, is figuring out what it is that helps you to feel that sense of positivity and focusing in that direction, allowing yourself to step into the greatest vibrational version of who you are. But we have to let go of our fear of what that looks like and what others will think about us when we make that choice. Our fear of change will hold us back every single time. This is the death card saying it's time for us to let go of who we were so who we are can come forward, taking us fully into brand new horizons, places we've never been before. It is smooth sailing when we choose to focus inward and allow ourselves to be the drivers of this car. Look at this beautiful, beautiful sunrise that's out here this morning. It is an absolutely gorgeous day where I am, and I am so excited to celebrate today. I'm gonna go to the farmer's market. What are you gonna do? Whatever you're gonna do, let's get our day started on a positive note right here in the present moment with gratitude in our hearts. Are you ready? Because I am. All right, do me a favor, take a nice big deep breath in and release. Drop your shoulders and just remind yourself that today is a great day, friends. It's just getting started. It's the beginning of the weekend. Oh my goodness, what are you going to do with today? It's a great day, friends. It's a great day.